When did you realize your family had been planning this for years? I found the first photograph on a Thursday afternoon while searching for my social security card in my father's study. The image showed a dark-haired boy sitting on a man's shoulders, both grinning at the camera. The child wore a baseball jersey with number 12. The man had my father's exact posture, but younger, less worn. I flipped the photo over. Michael, age 6, written in faded black ink. My name is Michael. I'm an only child, but I'd never seen this photograph before. Never owned that jersey, and the boy in the picture had features I didn't recognize from any childhood photos I'd seen. My hands started shaking as I pulled out more photos from the same envelope. Different locations, different ages, but always the same dark-haired child. Camping trip at age 4. First day of school at 7. Little league game at 9. None of them were me. I have lighter brown hair, always have. My childhood photos show a completely different face, different build, different everything. Yet someone had carefully labeled each image with my name and corresponding ages. The dates written on the backs would have made me 13 years old in the most recent photo, taken just 3 years ago when I was definitely not wherever that picture was taken. The office door opened behind me. My father stood in the doorway, his briefcase still in hand, his expression shifting from surprise to something darker as he saw the photographs scattered across his desk. For 3 seconds, we just stared at each other. Then he carefully closed the door, set down his briefcase, and sat in the chair across from me like we were about to discuss a business deal. His voice came out too steady, too rehearsed. You weren't supposed to find those yet. We were going to tell you when you turned 18, give you time to process before you left for college. Tell me what? The question caught in my throat because part of me already knew the answer would destroy everything. My father pulled another envelope from his desk drawer, this one thicker, more official looking. Inside were documents I couldn't fully process at first. A death certificate for Michael James Brennan, died at age 9 from complications of leukemia. Medical records for a child who shared my birthday but different parents. Adoption papers with my name but dates that made no sense because my parents never told me I was adopted. Then the final document, the one that made my stomach drop. A court order granting my parents legal custody of me, dated 7 years ago, signed by a judge whose name I recognized because he'd been at our house for Thanksgiving dinner last month. His name was Michael, my father said quietly, staring at the photographs instead of me. Our son, your mother and I spent 9 years fighting his illness, traveling to specialists, trying every treatment available. We watched him suffer through chemotherapy, radiation, experimental protocols. Nothing worked. His voice cracked on the last word, but he pushed through. He died in our arms at Children's Hospital on a Tuesday morning in March. The bravest kid I've ever known. I wanted to ask why he was telling me this, why these photos existed, why I'd never known any of this before. But he kept talking, his words gaining momentum like he'd been holding them back for years. We tried to move forward, went to grief counseling, joined support groups for bereaved parents, did everything the therapists recommended. Nothing helped. The house felt empty. Every room reminded us of him. Your mother couldn't go into his bedroom for 6 months. I found her sleeping on the floor outside his door one night because she couldn't bear to be far from where he'd been. The death certificate was dated 7 years ago, almost exactly. The custody papers came 8 months later. I did the math slowly, forcing my brain to work through the implications. You adopted me to replace him. The words came out flat, emotionless, because I couldn't access the feelings yet. They were too massive, too overwhelming. Not replace. My father's correction came too quickly, too defensive. We wanted to honor his memory by giving another child the love we couldn't give him anymore. Full story on my channel and linked below.